Usain used to be known all around the world for his flash-like speed, but it turns out that might not be the case for too long, considering how chaotic things have been for him recently. The runner has involved himself in various business opportunities, and they aren't going as well as he would have liked. An ex-employee of Usain's startup talked about getting exploited. We wonder what's going on there, starting with the ex-employee and his woes. The 8-time Olympic gold medalist's first foray into entrepreneurship was Bolt Mobility. Unfortunately, 4 years after its July 2012 launch, the company shut down. The corporation then abandoned the cars in Burlington, Vermont, and Portland, Oregon. Only by using the corresponding app could they be accessed. There was widespread confusion among the company's stakeholders, especially its workers, when an unexpected decision was made. Former employees have spoken up about their disappointment with the reality. An Indian investor provided funds, and the firm has promised to resume payment soon. Employees came up with their woes. One said, "Not paying us for the last month of work we did, I consider that defrauding the employees." They also added that they feel like they've been lied to and manipulated. Another employee added, "We couldn't believe that they would just stiff us," they said. And we quote, "I feel violated." Moving on, the business that doesn't look like it's doing too well. Retired sprinting superstar Usain Bolt ran as fast as a cheetah. Lightning speed became a byword for him. After hanging up his boots, he helped launch Bolt Mobility, a firm that makes electric scooters. The company's goals included revolutionizing transportation via safe, smart, and sustainable transit alternatives. Bolt's business endeavor was a failure, unfortunately. The year 2018 saw the launch of the new e-scooter company. According to those familiar with the situation, the famous sprinter was just a spokesman despite being a co-founder. In most cases, he stayed out of the choice-making process. Alas, business activities were shut down 2 months ago. The automobiles on the roads and the workers inside were both abandoned. Let's talk about the immobility of mobility. The Jamaican hurricane co-founded the company Bolt Mobility with the altruistic goal of reinventing scooter transportation. Scooter owners could listen to his recorded voiceovers, which he had placed in the device's built-in speakers. The lightning bolt has also created a commercial to market his company. After much work, Bolt Mobility was not selected for the 2021 Shared Electric Scooter Pilot Program in New York City. Ultimately, he refocused on niche markets, deploying scooters in places like Portland, Burlington, and St. Augustine, Florida. But the fantasy didn't last long at all. Reportedly, financial difficulties led to the company's decision to cease operations. But there are still many questions about the next autumn. Fans are crossing their fingers that it didn't have disastrous consequences. Moving on, did you know that the chaos started a year ago? A former employee claims that things started to go sideways for Bolt in late 2021, when the firm began to fall behind on its rent for its primary warehouse in Birmingham, Alabama. According to the worker, the landlord even sent a sheriff to the building with an eviction order, but management had the situation under control by February. A chemical business situated in Chennai, India, called Ramcharan, made a strategic investment in Bolt in March, and the news was announced in a press release by Bolt. Bolt will be able to have access to cutting-edge solid-state battery technology, the business stated, without disclosing the cost of the investment. However, according to former workers, financial difficulties persisted at the company even after the news announcement. According to the former worker, the company's suppliers and contractors began complaining about not being paid in April, prompting the sheriff to make another appearance at the Birmingham warehouse. Nevertheless, reassured workers that payment would soon be made. "The writing's on the wall," a former employee said of the mood in April and May. "But there's always this plausible explanation. The money's on the way. We're just waiting to be approved." There were always reassurances. Moving on, there were some legal proceedings. 2 times in June, Bolt failed to pay its workers their bi-weekly wages. CEO Ignacio Sumas informed staff in early July that the firm would be closing, but allegedly no notice was given to local authorities. Richmond, California Mayor Tom Butt lamented in July that Bolt seemingly went out of business without prior warning or removal of their capital equipment from municipal property. The city is formulating a strategy to get rid of all the unused machinery. Workers claim that once Bolt shut down, Sumas and other executives and the board mainly kept quiet, leaving them to worry whether they would ever collect their wages. While this was going on, ex-employees claimed that Bolt management gave authorization for local governments and unpaid suppliers to seize the company's equipment. Thomas told the Post in August that his lawyers told him to not even call you guys back, because when it becomes a legal matter, you don't want to really talk about these things because we're going through legal issues with that investor. After a few days, Zumas convened a conference with the staff and told them he would pay them if they stopped talking to the Post. Now, did the employees get their money? Following media inquiries, a Bolt spokeswoman said arrangements are already being made to reimburse the staff in the next several days. The corporation finally paid off the workers many days later. Despite Bolt's insistence that it had always intended to compensate its former workers, two of them said the firm would never have done so if they hadn't gone public with their story. Now, in other news, first off, Usain Bolt making a comeback to the catwalk. Usain Bolt, the winner of 8 Olympic gold medals, showed off his modeling skills on the runway for Puma on Tuesday, September 13th, at New York Fashion Week. The former sprinter said he enjoyed the experience, but that walking that slowly isn't natural for him. As they spoke backstage after the concert, something about moving at such a leisurely pace seems unusual. I merely did what everyone else did as an example, so I tried to take things slowly and savor the occasion, as they had advised. His words. This was designer June Ambrose's first runway presentation for Puma in her capacity as the company's creative director. She put on a spectacular exhibition titled Futrograde, in which both men's and women's attire were on display. It was a celebration of the arts, including music, athletics, and fashion. To celebrate its future and its 75th anniversary in 2023, the company wanted to pay tribute to its history. Each segment of the presentation focused on a certain hue, such as red or black. These were sweatpants and shoes, as well as dresses and other forms of streetwear. Bolt wasn't the only celebrity who modeled with Ambrose. Winnie Harlow and Christian Combs, son of Sean Diddy Combs, also worked with him. Next, Bolt's record broken in the season-ending Diamond League Final 200-meter race in Zurich, Switzerland. Noah Lyles clocked in at 19.52 seconds to win. This time places him 5th fastest in history, among the 13 best ever recorded, aside from his world record run of 19.19 seconds. Usain Bolt has 4 of the top 13 quickest timings. In July, Lyles repeated as world champion by running a time of 19.31 seconds, which was faster than Michael Johnson's previous American record. Lyles set new records for the most times in a single year by a sprinter by running either 19.67 or 19.52. His winning time of 19.52 against a headwind at last year's Olympic trials was tied for the 12th best time ever. After coming away with the bronze medal in the Olympics, Lyles set a new world record in the 200-meter dash shortly after the Tokyo Games, and this year he had probably the best 200-meter sprinting season in history. Since Worlds, 25-year-old Lyles has been quite vocal about his desire to break the world record. Once Lyles had a sense, he would not let it go, as he said to World Athletics. This year, he was able to record some very moving emotions, and that's especially true in the first stages, the first 100, 20, and 10 meters. He said, "I'm going to try some things I've never done before." Finally, Faith Kipyegon is on track to becoming the fastest 1500-meter runner, following the August 10th Monaco Diamond League competition. An exhausted Faith Kipyegon collapsed on the track after crossing the finish line. Gratitude and a sense of relief washed through her. The two-time Olympic and world champion thought she had achieved one of her longtime objectives of being the fastest woman in the 1500-meter race. The Kenyan runner paced herself meticulously and finished the race in 3:50.37, missing the world record by less than a third of a second. The Kenyan runner has experienced defeat previously on the middle distance track. Still, she has always used setbacks as motivation to achieve even greater success in the future. That's a wrap for this video. So what did you think about all this Bolt drama? Is his startup bound to fail? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.